Hi everyone, it's Tammy, and today we are using the Best Birds stamp set from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to do 3 cards this week featuring Best Birds. And this is one of those stamp sets in the catalog that you may just kind of breeze over because it's not very, at least in my opinion, it's not very highlighted. Let me show you. I'm not even sure what page it is on. I'm going to have to look it up. Best Birds is on page 53. So it just has a little section of the birds and then it kind of just goes on to something else. And I don't know why, but it caught my eye, and I am not a big bird person. I like birds, but I don't like house birds really. I've never had one. Maybe I have when I was little with my mom and dad. Maybe they had one. I don't remember exactly, but it's not something that I'd ever even considered at my house. But seeing the stamp set, it just kind of, I don't know, they just look so sweet. And I thought, oh my goodness, I want to get my hands on that. So I did. I ordered that with my first Stampin' Up! Order. As soon as I could order from the new catalog, I did, and I have not used it yet, but I am really excited that I get to share this experience with you guys. One of the things that I really love about these 3 card a week series that I've been doing is that I am really going outside of my comfort zone a little bit, and it also ensures that I am using every stamp set that I own, because sometimes as a crafter you become more of a collector than you do a crafter sometimes. At least that's been my experience. I will find things that I like and I'll just collect them, and I never really get a chance to delve in and use them. So at least this gives me a variety of ways that I can use them, and I hope that it's helping you guys too. I've gotten some good feedback, so if you like it, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I love your comments. I read all of them and I reply to almost all of them. If I have not replied to your comment, then comment again, because my intention is to reply to everyone. Sometimes I've noticed that some people you can't reply to, and I don't know if it's because they have their comments off, was what I'm thinking, but I love to communicate with you guys and have that open communication between everyone. So please, if you are so inclined, please feel free to comment and give me some information, and I'm happy to respond. And if you have any questions, let me know. I also am trying to do a PDF of all of these videos and then posting that on my blog, and all of that information is below. If you'd like to purchase any of this stuff, it's all available on my Stampin' Up! Site, which is also below. PDFs are a little bit difficult for me. I'm just going to be honest with you. I do not like making them. I don't know exactly why. They're not real difficult and they're not exactly hard, but they are just time consuming, and for me it's not a fun thing to do. So I do tend to put those off a little bit, and sometimes I've noticed that I do forget to make some for some. And it is a forget. It's not an I don't want to. It's just if I have a chance of making a card or making a PDF, I usually go for the, well, let's make a card right now, and I'll put that off for later. And sometimes it just gets put off for longer than I intend, and the card gets posted and I never put the PDF up. So please, if I haven't put the PDF up, please just let me know and I will get the PDF going and I will post it. So just so you know. But for this card, I thought that this So Saffron was really pretty, and I don't even think I've used So Saffron yet. And I'm sorry, I've been inking, and I think that some of this is from my candle because I pulled the stem of my candle off without the cutter. That was not a very smart thing to do, because now I have soot on me, but oh well. So I have the So Saffron, and I also thought that that looked pretty with mint macaron. So I got that, and then I have this Affectionately Yours Designer Series paper, and I was so happy to see that it looks like it has, I think this is actually a pool party, but it's close enough to this mint macaron that you can't tell. And I'm not exactly sure what this yellowy color is. I don't know if it's So Saffron or not, but it seems to match well enough as well that I think that without knowing, you would think it was matchy-matchy. So that's really cute. I like that. So I'm going to do those colors, and I thought that that might be cute. And then I thought I would cut out one of my birds and maybe put him here, maybe on the tree stem, and then also maybe have a sentiment. So that's what these are for. And then I also have some ribbon because I thought that that might be cute as well. So I don't know. We'll see how this turns out together. But I just have this So Saffron cut in an A2 size, and then I have it scored so that it'll make the A2 size card, and then I have this to be the card front like that, and I'm not going to stick that down yet because I don't know if I want to put a ribbon around it. I do think I'm going to go ahead and stick this down because I'm pretty committed to putting that right there, and I am using my ATG gun, but this is equivalent to snail. It's just when you are a demonstrator and a card maker, as much as I am, I go through a ton of snail, and it seems like the ATG is a little more economical for me, so that's the reason I do that. So you would use your snail, and I'm just going to put this down just like that. So this will fit on my card base like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp one of the birds onto this white card, Whisper white cardstock, and I know that it's not very big, but I did measure it against the die cuts, and I think it's going to be big enough to do the bird and then to cut it out. So that's my plan, and I haven't really picked out a bird, but I think I'm kind of partial to this little guy. I don't know, they're both really cute. Oh, well, let's see which guy is going. You know what, this guy is facing that way, and I kind of like that a little better. So I'm going to go with this bird facing that way for this particular card. So I'm going to stamp him on here, and then I'm also going to stamp the branch, but I'm going to do them in different colors. I'm going to take my basic black archival ink, making sure that's the archival one, and I am going to stamp the bird with that, and I'm going to use my Misty. And this is just an aid in stamping. It's just instead of using a block, you can use a Misty. And please don't feel like you have to get one of these to be able to stamp. It's just something that I have that's extra. It's not something that Stampin' Up! Even sells. But I like it a lot, and it's from My Sweet Petunia. If any of you are interested, you could just go there to purchase it. This is not sponsored. I don't get any credit for it. It's just a personal preference. Well, I think that turned out adorable. And I'm going to grab a wet wipe. My cat is sleeping over my drawer, so I will use one of the ones that I keep at the bottom, but I'm not sure that these are very wet. Yeah, that's the problem with these. These dry out so fast. I'm going to have to move Mr. Fuzz a minute. Sorry, baby. Sorry, sweet boy. And I'm just going to get out the Stampin' Mist. This is the cleaner that goes with my scrubber, but I can use the cleaner with these wet wipes, and it does the same trick where it cleans them, but then I can not have to, I can just leave them on this, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't have to like put it on a block to clean it. I can just clean it right on here. And the archival ink does stain the stamps, but don't fret, it will stamp just the same. Lots of the darker inks, reds especially, and the black. Now I'm taking the branch, and I think I'm going to use the brown to stamp this. And I'll use a different piece of Whisper White. And I have Chocolate Chip. I believe that's the name. I'm checking. Yes. Chocolate Chip is the name of the color that I will use for the branch. There we go. And then there should be enough cleaner on this to clean the branch off. Sometimes it gets on the Misty itself, so I just like to clean that up. There is special cleaner that you can purchase to clean the Misty. It's all available on My Sweet Petunia, though. So we'll put that back, and then if I want to do a sentiment, let's see, which one do I want to do? Happy anniversary, happy birthday, it's a good day. I think I might use it's a good day because that's a nice one. It is a good day. I like to line mine up in the corner. Whoa, and you really don't want to do that. You don't want to get them stuck together because they are sometimes difficult to get apart. I've learned a little trick, so I'm getting better at it because the first time I did that, I spent like 20 minutes trying to get the daggone thing unstuck. And I'm going to do this in black as well. I love coming home and being able to stamp. It's so nice. I don't have children to run around anymore, and I mean, that was fun too, but I'm in the season of my life now that I can actually like come home and do something I want to do sometimes. I mean, I still have cleaning and cooking and stuff to do, but lots of times it's just my husband and I, and it's not such a big deal if I don't get dinner on the table at a specific time, and neither one of us have specific things we have to do or places we have to be, so that I have to hurry up and get done so I can do the next thing. It's just kind of nice. I mean, sometimes we'll just have leftovers or Hex cereal or something like that, and as a mom, I never felt like I could really do that with my kids. There were occasionally we had, you know, just really easy, fast, quick dinners, don't get me wrong. And of course we had fast food far too often, I'm sure. But for the majority of the time, I did try to cook. You know, get a vegetable in there and all of that good stuff. But now that it's just Dennis and I, we can pretty much, you know, eat whatever we feel like. I don't know why there's a little... There's a little, I somehow got a little, oh, what's that called? Like a little snag. It's a little sharp point right here on the paper. I don't know how I did that, but get that off. Because I'm picky. For no other reason, that did not have to happen, but, and you probably would never have noticed that it was even there. So before I color this, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. And it looks like I will just need these two. I will need the branch for the branch, like that, and I will need, which bird? This bird, for this bird. How cute. Okay, so I'm going to get out my Big Shot. And to do this, I can do them both at the same time, so I'm going to put my little bird down, and then I'm going to put this over the top of it, just framing my bird. And then I'm going to put my branch down, and I'll put this over the top of it, framing my branch. Oh, some of these have like a little bit of glue on them from when they were in the packaging. I guess I could take some Goo Gone and get it off, but I just haven't fussed with it. So I'm just taking my time to get this where I want it. Oh, and then I moved this one. Goodness gracious. There we go. And then when you have them where you want them, just carefully put the top on top. And you can use like a Post-it note or some tacky tape to hold those down. And I even have some. I like to make it difficult on myself for some silly reason. I really don't know why I don't use it more often. So now I'm finished with the big shot, I believe, for this card, and I have my branch cut out and I have my little bird cut out, and I can put these here. And where's my card? So I'm going to use my watercolors and I'm going to color in this branch with the Close to Cocoa. So to do that, I just kind of push the top into the bottom, and that makes a nice little pool of color down here. And I don't even close it, I just leave it open like this so that I can get my paint or my paintbrush Aqua Painter in there, and that's kind of acts as my palette. And then I'm going to get the mint macaron so that it matches this for the branches. And I happen to not have So Saffron as an ink, but I do have Delightful Dijon, and although it's not the same color, I think it will match enough that it will be cute. And I might even use the mint macaron on this bird along with that. And then I think I'm also going to use this Peekaboo Peach. So I just like to get all my colors together and ready. And then I have an Aqua Painter. It comes with two, and these are awesome. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these, but you just fill them with tap water, and then you can get the water flowing and see how it like brushes against the paint. This, or the ink, this makes it so that you can paint the ink on like it's a paintbrush. Super easy, super fun. And if you're a painter or an artist or a colorer professionally or even not professionally, you can do a lot of things with these to get different tones and different colors. Or if you're a novice like me and you just have this as a hobby where you like to make cards, and it's easy to do too. I think it's super easy. I love watercoloring. That's probably my go-to if I have a choice of coloring, especially an intricate stamp, because watercolor is very forgiving. If you mess up a little bit, it's really not a big deal. Most people can't even tell. And if you like to switch colors, all I have to do is wipe this like on a piece of scrap paper until it no longer is bleeding green and it just bleeds clear, and then there we go, we're ready. So I just did it on my hand so you could kind of see, but normally I'll just take it and do it like this on my scrap piece of paper that I have, and then you can sharpen it by just tweaking it. Sharpen it. That's funny. And I am just coloring the branch now. And watercolor is one of those, I don't know, it's really kind of cool. I don't know how else to explain it, but like if I want this a little darker, I can just go in with more ink and make that end a lot darker than the rest. And then you can kind of tone it out and kind of blend it in a little bit with watercolors. Now I am using just regular Whisper White cardstock. I don't want to go over an area too much with the Aqua Painter. Let me show you. If I just keep going over the same area, this is going to pill, just kind of like a sweater at Christmas time, or any sweater. It doesn't have to be at Christmas time, but it will start to pill. And I don't know if you can see, but the fibers of the paper are getting really thin, and you can see on the back how it's getting. And the more you do it, you could even rip your paper, and eventually you'll have a hole where the paper was, and it's just not obviously the look you're going for. So when you're using regular Whisper White cardstock, what you need to do is just be very careful. I got some of that pilling on here, I'm just trying to pull it off. You can just paint normally, and you can just do like a couple of strokes on each area, and look at the difference. Look how much better this looks than that, obviously. And then on the back, see the difference? You can't even see where I did it. And then this is where it's all watery and almost, you can even feel the difference. Like this is super weak. See my fingernail just going right through it? There's no way it would go through this. but this area is just a mess. So you do have to be careful. If you're going to, if you know you need to paint over it a lot, or you can definitely use watercolor paper, which is strongly recommended if that's the route you want to take. So I'm going to use my Delightful Dijon, and I'm kind of blending it out a little bit, diluting it with some water, because I'm not exactly sure how I want this yet. I don't know birds well enough to know how they should look. Seems to me like a robin, he might have a different color chest. So I am going to, I think what I'll do is add some green. But first I'm going to add this peach color to his feet. And I don't care that it gets a little bit off of the black, because this black is so small. I think that having it go off of the black, it kind of shows that it's even there. It makes it a little more visible. So I'm going to take this green now and just kind of do his belly. Kind of like a robin, only making it green instead of yellow. I don't know if there's a bird that looks like this or not. Well, I do know because I'm doing one. And then I'm going to do these back feathers a little bit with a little tinge of green, the mint macaron. But again, you don't want to go too much. And see where this ink is pooled right here? That's going to be really strong. So I'm going to even use some of that and do his tail feathers back here with the green that had already had the Delightful Dijon on it, so it looks almost blue. And then I'm just carrying it forward just a little bit so that all of that gets colored in. And then I am going to take the So Saffron, or the Delightful Dijon, a little bit, and I didn't want it to be so diluted there, so I just went and did a little bit more in that area, and I'm just kind of highlighting his face where these darker lines are, or darker dots are. And I think I'll do the same back here where these darker dots are, because I think it's showing you where the highlights are or whatever, and I think that that's pretty good. I'm happy and satisfied with that. So I'm just cleaning off my brush and making it a point before I put the lid on. And I believe I am done coloring this, so I'm going to go ahead and put all of my colors away. Okay, so then I have my card front, which is the mint macaron with the designer series paper on it. And then I can either make this bird go that way or this way on the tree. I kind of like that. I think I'll do it that way. And then I'll put It's a Good Day up here. And then I think I am going to go ahead and do a ribbon. Let's see. I think what I'll do is put this wooden piece against that, so like it's the end of the wood is coming off of the paper, and then I'll do the ribbon here and I'll do the bow here, and It's a Good Day right up here. So I thought I had a piece of ribbon already cut because I was trying to be efficient, but obviously, oh, here it is. So I will have that one already cut, and I'm going to use that, and then I will figure out how I want to do the bow. So let me go and put some of my snail adhesive on either side of the back, and that's what's going to hold this ribbon down for a minute. And I like to do it this way for a couple of reasons. Sometimes I'll use regular tape on the back, and that's fine too. I like to do it because it saves a little bit of ribbon. I'm very frugal when it comes to crafting. And you know, supplies can get very expensive. So if you do it this way, you don't have to use all of that. So it kind of gives you almost twice as much bang for your buck, because that's almost the whole card length. So I'm cheating, but I'm getting a little more bang for my buck. And maybe I might have used a little more tape, because I do like to make sure that tape is covering it so I know it's not going to go anywhere. And then I'm just going to put this down on the front. And then I will take his little tree stem and put him like this. And I don't think I'm going to pop dot that, but I think I might pop dot the bird. I think. Or should I pop dot both? Nope, I think I'm just going to pop dot the bird. So I will use my snail for this because it's a little piece. You could also use some Mambo glue or whatever, but I'm going to use my little snail and just do the leaves and the branch. Just like that. And then I will take my glue dimensionals, my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I like to cut them, which is what these all are, all kind of crazy down here. When I'm still working up here, you really can't tell that I have done that, but I often will go ahead and pre-cut a bunch of them so that when I need them, I can just grab them. And it's very handy for smaller pieces like this, so I can get a glue dot or a dimensional in here without having to worry about it being too big. And it kind of just helps with, you know, you're only using what you need then. And I want a little small piece that I can use for his feet, and I don't have one that small, so I'm going to just cut one again. And then I can take it, stick it right on his feet. I'm going to do one more right here in the middle just because I feel like he could use it. So I used 2 and a little quarter of dimensionals for this guy. Actually, it's less than a quarter of another dimensional. I don't even know what size to call that dimensional. It would be probably a 1/16 of a dimensional. And then I'm going to put him on my tree branch. And I think I will use my snail for this as well. And then I'm going to tie it. Gosh, do I want a bow? I think I'm going to do a bow. And so what I do for my bows, I try to get as much end as I need on this one, and then the rest I just use for the bow. And then I can cut this right off of the spool, and lots of times I do have too much, but it's better to have a little too much than not enough. And if I leave it on the spool, I waste as little as possible for me. Sometimes I'm sure that I can do a better bow where it's not so long and I'm wasting like 2 inches instead of a 1/2 inch, but other times I can get it spot on where I'm not wasting any. So it's a give and take with me, with my bow making skills. So I think that looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the ends of the bow. What do you call those? At an angle. Like that. And I don't like how much I have, so I'm going to cut it a little bit more. And I'm actually going to use bigger scissors. I would recommend using bigger scissors so that you can just do one cut instead of having to lift your scissors and make 2 cuts. There we go. And inevitably, it seems like no matter where I start on my scissor head, it always isn't enough. And I don't know why. It's just the luck of the draw, I guess. And this is the organza ribbon in Whisper White. And I'm going to use a glue dot to put it down. So just like that. And there is our first card, and this is how it opens. And I'm not going to bother putting a piece of Whisper White in there because the yellow, the So Saffron is so light that it will work just fine. But isn't that lovely? Beautiful card. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Bye-bye.